glad to have you back on, man. We finally both figuring out the technical difficulties, so it's good to have you back on for sure. Welcome back to the 209.
Be here.
So we're definitely looking forward to welcoming you back here physically on Thursday, the 27th, 7 o'clock at 927 Industrial Way at the brewery right there. Definitely looking forward for you coming out to Lodi, rocking it out. The whole 209's looking forward to it. Stockton, of course. I know you said you're familiar with Stockton.
Oh yeah, very, very much so, man. You know, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm listening.
So we have the name of your new album. I know is I'm Bizzy, right? And I can attest to that for sure. Just trying to get with you to get an interview. I know it's been a real busy process.
Yeah. You know, everybody say that about me. You know, like back in the days, back when I was with my crew. Heavy, they used to call me Wishbone, right? Because we was all looking for bone names, and you already had Lazy and Crazy, right? So, you know, they was looking at me like, man, you not a Wishbone, man. Like you like a busy bone, because your mind it keeps working, it keeps going. Even when I was real young, I used to talk real fast and real energetic, real hyper, had a lot of great ideas. So yeah, man, it fits me well, man. It's carried me into to where I'm at now. I stay moving, stay rocking.
So speaking of being busy, I know you've been one of the very few to reach the legendary status of still being in the game, still having an impact on the game since the 90s, and the influential artists that you work with from Tupac and Biggie, of course, Eazy-E, but also the stamp that you've put on the genre yourself with Bone, and now with your solo career. You know, what thoughts come to mind as far as what you would like the fans to know with just your longevity? I see right now even you're standing in front of several of your plaques and your albums. I mean, it's an honor to have you coming out to the 209, but if you could speak on that, of just your longevity in the game and, you know, some of your experiences, what you've learned over this amount of time.
I mean, well, I think longevity comes in not getting discouraged, because, you know, we went through social media era to Napster, to where they was pirating your music and illegally downloading it, to you only getting a few cents per stream. Now, streams and publishing and writers and ASCAP and Sound Exchange kind of are on the same level. Like if your song gets a spin on the radio, you get, you know, a couple of cents per spin, you know. So that's kind of like how streams are now. So it's not getting discouraged, man. My longevity goes from not solely being about the money, it being about, and it's cliche, don't trip, but the music. It being about the love of the music, the dream that, you know, the dream that you once had to become known for the music that you were putting out. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's really what my longevity comes from. Just never getting discouraged, no matter what may be going on in the industry, whether it be labels, whether it be group members, whether it be little spats or quarrels on the ends. Never letting it get me to the point to where I feel like I need to go fall into a bottle, or I feel like I need to, you know, slack up because things aren't going the way that I wish they were, you know. So it's just not getting tired. It's believing in it, your heart being in the right place and loving music. For real, that's like where my longevity come from. And, you know, I constantly work at my craft, like all day and night. Like I'm 3:30 in the morning, constantly writing my music. Our last interview that they had no sound, I was just getting out of the studio, you know. So, you know, I try to stay 4 or 5 steps ahead of myself. And me getting back on the road, man, you know, like with this very first show, is Lodi or Lodi?
Lodi, but everybody was loving it that you called it Lodi, so they gonna start calling it Lodi.
That's what I heard. It was like, man, it's low and put the die on it. Oh, die. I got it. But the first show in Lodi, man, California, man, it's really been like maybe 4 or 5 years in the making. I haven't really stepped out there to really do too much of anything. My main focus was putting out new, fresh music, and I believe that also plays a big part in longevity. You know, I love Frank Sinatra, and I love like artists that transcend through time. You know, Smokey Robinson, he's been there for decades. Quincy Jones, he's been decade after decade after decade after decade. I mean, from the 50s, it's 2020. He's been in there since the 50s and the 60s. I mean, that's almost 100 years in music and killing it and crushing it, you know. So, you know, this very, very first show, man, is giving me a chance to get back out there. And I'm going to be on the road for the next 4+ years. Like, I got that bug again, and you know, I put out enough music to where I can really market it and promote it. So I think longevity is definitely being confident, being persevering, and you got to get on the road and touch the people in this particular thing. I'm so happy that Lodi is my very, very first stop, you know?
Yeah, we're definitely honored, you know, to have you out here. We refer to the region as, it's right next door to Stockton, but we refer to the region by the area code as the 209. So, you know, we're definitely looking forward to you come out, rocking it out with local artists, Band Chaos and others. Speaking of your new album, and I know a lot of people are going to be, you know, wanting to hear the classics and whatnot, but you got a lot of hitters on the new one. I'm Bizzy, you know, from the opening track, Bizzy Gets Busy. I like the beat definitely goes with the theme of the show, you know, Halloween. It got that little Halloween vibe to it, that little spooky vibe to it. But they got a whole bunch of bangers on there. My personal favorite one is Can't F With It, personally. So if you want to talk and let the audience know about your album, you know, what was your inspiration? What are you hoping to let fans know with your newest creation?
Well, you know, like, you know, this latest record, I was really looking for a particular sound to transcend me from the classics to where I want to go in the near future. And I believe I found it with this record. I started a tiny notch with the War of Roses Deluxe. But with this record in particular, like, my inspiration was I wanted the production to be better than it ever was. So I went to my team of producers. You know, hey, may the best man win. You know what I mean? May the best man win. Like, straight up. If it's good, then I'm using it. If it's great, then I'm only using you. You know, so, and to my engineers, I told them, I'm looking for a new sound. Go find it. And if you find it for me and I like it, then I'm keeping it. You know, just letting everyone know that I'm trying to build and form a sound. And if you with me and we riding, then we riding together for a minute, because this is going to be my sound for a while. And it's not like so many vocals with this record. Mm-hmm. With this record, you won't see 4 and 5 vocals stacked on top of each other. You'll see 1 or 2 vocals. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that many vocals, and the words are crisp. The words are clear. You know, you can follow it a little bit better. It isn't so much of, what did we say? On this one, they like, I hear him. Damn, did you hear what he said? So, you know, it's a lot more lyrical. It shows my ability to be lyrical. It shows my content. It's really up to date. A lot of the subject matter is about what's going on now. Mm-hmm. You know, the non-binary, the woke culture, the George Floyd, the movement over here, the skinny jeans era, and different things of that nature. I like to stay in my lane, you know, as a classic, that OG original thug, but I'm speaking on my content and my material. So, yeah, man, this new record, man, it's like blood all over the wall, man. Like, that one was inspired by Amber Heard. You know what I'm saying? In the Johnny Depp trial. I get inspired by certain stuff. That very first track, the Why the Fuck Was Bone Thugs doing a show, that was inspired with, we were all supposed to go back on the road again. You know what I mean? So it was inspired by something. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where a lot of it comes from. And of course, my sons being a part, like the Prince of Bel Air, was just me and Bone Bone, him growing as an artist. Prodigies was showing that my sons are prodigies, like they were born into the music, and to show the lyrical content and where they're coming from. So like this record covered a broad range and a broad spectrum of where I've been, where I'm going, and the near future, the present, the past, present, and the future, So, yeah, man, I'm really proud of this. When people are saying, we love your classic music, but this one right here might be the one,
Yeah, I definitely liked it. I listened to it like the first time I did put it on. I listened to it back to back like 3 times in a row. So, I was really feeling the Prince of Bel Air one as well. Speaking of your sons, I know last time we talked about your sons, getting them involved in the business and making it more of a family business. If you could touch on that, let the audience know what's cracking with that.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna like sign my kids. You know what I'm saying, to no label or no shit like that. I'm teach them the ropes and teach them how to be owners and leaders and lyricists and things of that nature. So it's really schooling them along the way, but it's a family event. It's a family affair. It's about generational wealth. I had my babies when I was 14, 15 years old. So they're, I had them very, very young. And they're able to go into business with me and be a part of what I'm doing. So it's really, really special. I can lead. I've always been the youngest in Bone. So for me to ever lead in my crew was totally out of the question. I wouldn't give a damn if I had a golden idea, because I happen to be the youngest in the group. I was never given that opportunity. And right before I went, right before 2019, I said, hey, you guys, I know how we can chart. I know exactly what we need to do. I'm running ads. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. If we combine our resources, we can all do this together. But by me being the youngest guy in the group, it's just one ear out the other. The arrow and, one ear and out the other. So with my kids, it's like they're listening. And we're winning. And we're accomplishing it. And, they've been in the grind for so long. I'm like, I basically told the fellas, like, look, I'm going to step away and help my babies out. Because my babies is out here doing music. But they need guidance. You got one person over here stealing, Junior's money, you know what I'm saying, from the Bizzy's in the House project. And then you got another one trying to lead Bone into this direction with, people going to jail and on drugs and all of that. So that's why you'll hear a lot in my records me talking about people being on drugs, because that was like surrounding one of my sons. So I'm trying to fight to get him away from it, So it's special. It's special to work with my family. It's special to work with my kids. And, my team was working with my kids. Like, I have members on my team that was working with my babies first. And, we wound up, making things where it needs to be at now. So I'm excited, man. Everything's coming back full circle, man. Everything's full circle.
So speaking again of full circle, from where you started in the era of the 90s to where it's at now, what would you say are some of the things that have not changed? And touching on your newest album, you do talk a lot about current events, social commentary. I noticed a lot more of that in your lyrics. What would you say some of the things are that have not changed since those days with Bone in the 90s, to what are some of the things you see different now with the music and the culture?
Well, everything has changed in the 90s. Like everything. Nothing's the same. Keeping it real no more. Now femininity is like a pass, into the industry, femininity. And it was never like that. Like, hey, you could get yourself hurt on that. It was a couple of people that tried to come through the door with, that energy, and it was shot down. So everything has changed. The dances, what people consider cool, everything from the things that people wear, from the things that people say, from the things that, that people are on. Everything has changed, just in, hip hop in general. So nothing is really, really the same. One thing, talent. I think that talent is still the same. If you got talent, people are going to hear it. And if you're smart, you'll have longevity with that talent. You know what I mean? So I think that talent remains. You always going to have those people that follow the trend. You got an auto-tune sound, and it's one sound. And, God bless these guys for making money, but it's just one sound. If you can get that sound, then you're pretty much in. Radio-wise, a couple of cosigns from this and, this and that. But talent has always remained the same. You got your Kendricks, you got your J. Coles, you got your, guys like this that are still talented and are able to make a run of it, So I think talent always rules, talent always rules, like always. Like none of these guys that do the same kind of music are considered anywhere near Kendrick. They're beneath him, in the new genre. None of them are considered on J. Cole's level. They're beneath him. You know what I mean? As far as lyrical. And so I think that remains the same. I think that lyrical and talent-wise, always, that has stayed the same.
So speaking of talent in regards to the industry and business, do you think nowadays artists have more power, more independence in regards to keeping their own careers going, or even getting put on, versus back in the day where they had to just go through major labels? Do you think that artists are more empowered today, or do you think it's harder?
Definitely they're more empowered. Definitely. Hands down. For sure.
So you seem to also been taking advantage of that. What do you now that you're a solo artist coming out with your newest album, what would you say you like the most about being a solo artist versus being part of a group?
Well, I started my solo journey back in '98, and it was pretty well publicized. I had a lot of problems with the record label, and I made a couple of songs that kind of explained it. What do I like about it? See, I'm the kind of guy to where I'm not drinking on the road. I made a change probably about 10 years ago. It was 2022. August hooked up at around 2015, 2014, around that. So about maybe seven and a half, maybe 8 years ago, I decided to no drinking on tour, no smoking, no miscellaneous rendezvousing. And I would get a hotel room away from the homies, because my band, they rock and roll, man. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? It's a party everywhere where they go till this day. So I've always been in my own bubble. I've been in my own bubble for about 8 years. So it ain't really what's better now. But if I could name one thing, it's because I'm bringing my kids. It's because I got my boys with me, my sons with me, and I got a nice squad with me, and some upcoming artists. And another thing, probably because it's new music. A lot of people aren't there to just hear me sing the classic songs. They expect me to do the new stuff. You know what I mean? So the expectations of what my show is going to be like, it feels good because that's the point I've been trying to get across. Transcend through time, keep up on the times. So I think that's the best thing that is new. I think for me, that is. So I love the classics, though. I'm still eating. You know what I mean? Every time Crossroads is done, every time First of the Month is done, every time my niggas get on stage, I get paid. You know what I mean? So it's not bad. That's not a bad thing for me. But one thing that I love is the new stuff.
So I think a lot of us are looking forward to seeing that new stuff rock out in person in Lodi again for the audience. You know, Thursday, October 27th at 7 o'clock, High Water Brewing, 927 Industrial Way. We got one of the legends himself, Bizzy Bone, coming through, going to be live on stage. And so is there anything else that you would like to leave with the audience? And also in regards to, I know last time we had some technical difficulties and you talked about the passing of your mother. Do you feel like that's had any impact on you in regards to you focusing on your legacy with your music?
I was in full swing of things before my mom got sick, and she was sick for about 2 years. I just kept it all to myself. You know, there's certain things I'm not gonna get on the social media with, but it definitely gave me more inspiration. Her and I wrote like 2 movies together, so I want to make sure that I get those completed. She wrote a book, so I want to put out her book as well. So it's like, you know, I don't know if it changed me, or, you know, I think that I'm still on the same course, and I take her advice a little bit more serious. I take the things that she wanted me to do a little more serious, and she was like my biggest fan, you know, so she was like, no, you go out there, you go do what you think is best. You know what time it is, you go do what you think is best. And like a true mother, you know, I'm always going to be her favorite. You know what I mean? Her license plate had Bizzy Mama on the back of it. You know what I mean? Everywhere that she went, they knew, you know, who she was. So I'm comfortable in the things that she did, you know, and I rejoice in her life because I know she helped a lot of people. She used to work for the government, post office, and she retired a postal master, right? And she used to help government officials with their retirement plans, right? Like, so they would have, you know, a couple $100,000 or whatever, and they wouldn't know what to do with it. So she was so smart that she was able to help them manage their life up until the very, very end. So she did it basically free of charge. It was just a labor of love for her, you know? So, yeah, you know, it's more inspiration for me, man. It give me another breath of fresh air, let me know somebody watching down and rooting me on. And as long as I'm doing right, you know what I mean, doing right by myself, doing right by my family, doing right by my babies, then I know I'm doing right by her. So yeah, it puts a smile on my face because I know she in heaven. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, again, my condolences. I recently lost my mom as well, so I definitely know the feeling and the experience. You know, sucks that everybody one day got to go through that. But my little brother, speaking of the post office, my little brother also works for the post office. So shout out the post office.
Good job. Good job. Hey, yeah. Everybody, make sure who's checking this out. Make sure you go stream right now. I'm Bizzy by yours truly, Bizzy Bone. Now, I got a few more that y'all need to check out. Carbon Monoxide 2019, The Mantra 2020, War of Roses 2021, and War of Roses Deluxe 2022. And now, the I'm Bizzy record. Y'all come get this. Y'all gonna love it. And all my people in Lodi and Stockton. One more thing. I heard that there was in Stockton a serial killer. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we are dedicating this show to the families of those who lost their lives. So, you know, that is definitely something that I wanted to do, and I wanted people to understand that this is a celebration of peace and of love and, you know what I mean, of the afterlife and the good things. So come on out, and we're ready to rock and roll, man. I'm ready to go, man. I got YBL Sinatra. I got the Harmony God with me, Bloodline Harmony. I got my sons with me. It's going down, man.
Speaking of that too, we're also going to make sure that any victims, any family members of the victims of the recent serial killings in Stockton, reach out to 209 Times, reach out to Ben Chaos, myself, Motecuzoma Sanchez personally. We're going to make sure that we got some tickets set aside for you. So I know Mr. McCain, Bizzy Bone himself, is busy, so we're going to let him get back to handling his business. But again, October 27th, we're looking forward to having you at High Water Brewing in Lodi.
High Water Brewing, Lodi, October 27th. Y'all be there, man. It's going down.
All right, man. A pleasure again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Peace.